This is a video review of Datus Hyper from Tensou Sentai Goseiger. Now, we never actually got this guy in the States from Megaforce. Instead, what we got were some little accessory bikes, I think, that were combined with the Gosei Great Megazord to form, I think, the Ultra Gosei Great Megazord. I'm not entirely sure. It was weird. But this guy does combine with Gosei Great over there to form what's known as a Hyper Gosei Great, and I'll be showing that off in a little bit, but until then we have to look at this guy, Datus, and he really is a quite neat figure. Now before I begin, I do want to say I'm really not feeling well, so if I sound kind of nervous or excited or stumble over my words a lot, it's because I'm not feeling well at all, so please excuse that. I watched some of my previous videos from the last couple of days, and I know it's just video to video, I sound worse and worse and worse, so I apologize for that. Anyway, on to the figure itself. This guy is a video game arcade cabinet, and I think that is hilarious. And because of that, I automatically really like this guy, whereas a lot of the other stuff from Goseiger is like, overall, there's something good there that I can appreciate, but it has a lot of things I hate. This guy, I basically love unconditionally because he's just silly. He's also a triple changer that then combines with a Gosei Great over there, so I think he really is an interesting figure. So right here we have the arcade machine. It's a little bit thick because he has all this stuff back here, and here you have the little header for it. But it really is neat, and like the way it would be played, like I think there were actual arcade machines like this in Japan when Goseiger was playing, but like it's supposed to have lights and sounds, or at least sounds. I don't have any batteries for this, but you would turn it on, then you rotate this, and he would say stuff. Anyway, and that's about it for the arcade machine. It's more of a, wow, they made this, and it turns into a robot, into two different robots and combines with stuff? That's really cool, and so I really do like this mode. To transform this guy is kind of interesting, into his first robot mode at least. What you want to do is you want to pop these out, and these are some of the cards that you could put into the morpher. You rotate them around like this, and you put them back in, and those will be his eyes. He does have quite a few expressions because he has the normal one, angry, and terrified. So that's his normal expression. And then to transform him, you'll bring his arm around here like this, and then you'll spread his legs apart just a little bit. And this is Datus. And he's pretty simple. There's not too much to him. I mean, he's more of a, he's really more of an intermediary mode that you can enjoy. So it's not the most complex or interesting thing in the world, but I do like it. It is cute and interesting looking. For posability, his arms just rotate around 360, and you can split his legs a little bit more if you like, but you don't need to. Now, to transform him into Datus Hyper is pretty interesting, actually. First thing you want to do is you want to take this header off the back here. And then you want to take these sections, fold these down, and fold these down. Then you want to take these and then pop them into his feet down here. And they basically just use the header port system. And this is actually one of the few things I really don't like about this guy, that he feels the need to be a part former. And actually the reason for this is because he has to combine with Gosei Great over there. I think if he didn't have to combine with Gosei Great, he wouldn't be a parts former at all, except for the header over here, which I actually don't mind that he is a parts former for the header, because this is actually an implementation of the header gimmick that I like. It actually works kind of well. It makes sense in the context of the show, as far as I know the show, which I don't really. But it's a decent usage of the header system, which I haven't seen before in the series very much, except for Gosei Knight was pretty good too. But anyway, coming up, what you'll do is you'll rotate his fists out, and he kind of has boxer glove fists, and I kind of like that. You rotate these up to give him much bigger looking shoulders, because normally his shoulders come in at the middle of his chest, but these make it look like his shoulders are much higher, which I quite like. Then you rotate this down to give him his chest, and then you'll take his little header here, you'll pop it up here like this, and then you'll split it open like this. And here you get from a very cutesy looking thing that's an arcade cabinet, a really awesome looking guy. Like, he's not great looking, in fact he looks kind of retro-ish, in fact he looks very Brave-ish, like something out of Brave. In fact, that's one thing I really do like about this guy. He feels like something out of Brave, because he's something weird and silly and a little bit stupid, which is an arcade machine that turns into a weird, silly, kind of cutesy guy, which is the Datus mode. He really, in fact, he really reminds me of Mike Saunders the 13th from Gal Gai Gar. But then he transforms into this much bigger and taller thing that's actually quite intimidating, that doesn't really have any of the innocent look of his previous modes, and it's just really cool like that. In fact, another thing that reminds me of Brave is this whole chest right here. In fact, one thing that kind of really annoyed me about this guy is, one of my holy grails is Dragon Kaiser, not Dragon Caesar. This is Dragon Kaiser from Brave X Kaiser. Dragon Kaiser from X Kaiser has almost the exact same chest. The difference is just that it's a little bit wider and has some different proportions, but it's almost the exact same chest. Whenever I was just trolling around eBay for something interesting to buy, a review or something, I would see this chest with like, oh my god, it's Dragon Kaiser for $40. I gotta get it. And it was just Datus Hyper. So that was a little bit annoying for a long time. I do quite like this guy though. For posability, it's basically the same thing that Datus had, just the arms rotate around, and you can split the legs a bit if you want. And that's really all there is to this mode. It's just an interesting, cool, and kind of fun little toy. Like, I like just sitting with this guy and messing with him. He's not super complex or detailed, but he does a lot with not very much, and I appreciate that. It's very interesting how he does it. Now, to get this guy combined up with Gosei Great over there, it is kind of interesting, actually. And you really need more headers than I actually have to be able to do this, but anyway, to start off with, you'll take off this header. I'll just put this guy off to the side. You'll take this guy, you'll pull these down, then you'll rotate his arms up like this. So just up in the sky like that. You'll pop this off, then you'll come to the back, you'll split his legs as far as they'll go. You'll take these, and you'll pop them in like this, so that the header ports are facing towards the back of the figure. Then you'll take these and you will extend them. And this is all you're going to do to Datus. You'll just leave them like this. So put this off to the side for now. You're going to need this. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold back Gosei Great's ears. And you're going to put this mask on. And the way this attaches is that there are two little tabs right here and right here. They go into slots here and right here. So just put it down and they'll click into place. You'll fold his arms down like this. You rotate these down. And then what you'll do is there is a header port right here and some tabs right here. This will go into where the weapon would normally store on Gosei Great, and these right here will tab into his legs back here. So you'll pop this in like this, and these things back here, they're not really meant to support Datus over here. All they're meant to do is just hold, they're just meant to be stilts to like heel extensions. So once you get that done, basically you have them all combined up with a Datus Hyper to get this thing Hyper Gosei Great. Now if you had more headers than I do, you would populate all of the different header ports, and like if you had some of the Header Brothers sets, you would trade these out for a different set of headers, but I don't really have anything else. I have other figures that have headers, but really it's just up to your imagination where you put the headers. It's not really interesting going through all the various combinations I can do. And I also don't think that he's supposed to have his sword in this mode, but there's no other place to put it if he's not holding it. So just with these two figures, if these are all you have, what I like to do with his head is just pop it onto the back of the sword like that. And then this is Datus Hyper as far as I care to show him, because that other headers, there's not that much more to show. You do limit the articulation quite a bit by folding the wings forward. So this arm can only rotate up this far, and this arm can't go up that far at all without moving the wing out of the way, because he has these little things right here on his arm. So it's when I was reviewing Gosei Great, I was mentioning that the arms on him felt kind of weird, and that like I was concerned about them breaking, and like that's an example of my being concerned about breaking, because that happens more often than it did before I combined him with Gosei Ground. But anyway, this has been a video review of Gosei Great, not of Gosei Great, of Datus Hyper and Hyper Gosei Great. I hope you've enjoyed it. I review, and I do quite recommend Datus Hyper just by himself, because he's a fun, interesting little toy. I review Transformers, Digimon, Megazords, Tobots, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.